Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a super amazing day. Today we are looking at the top 3 most adorable Minecraft food mods. Now all of the links to these mods will be in the description box below if you want any of them. And be sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this video because I'd really appreciate that. Okay, now let's get into the mods. The first mod on our list is called Farmer's Delight. Now, as you can see by this gigantic setup here, this mod adds in a bunch of stuff, but we'll go through everything one by one. So, as you can see here, I have a little setup. These fences are actually made out of rope, and they look so incredibly adorable. As you can see here, we have some cabbage and some tomato. I will talk more about growing both of these later on. Now, over here, we have the basket. So this basket is made to collect food and items. So basically if I take this carrot and I throw it into the basket, it disappears and it's now inside of the basket. You can of course just place it inside the basket, but I feel like throwing it in gives it a nice effect. There we go. Now moving on, we have the stove. This is basically a block that will power your cooking pot. Now, without the stove, the cooking pot will not work, so make sure you have a stove underneath it first. Now, this cooking pot is where all of the magic happens. It's where you can basically cook all of the items from this mod. For example, the recipe for this fried rice is 1 carrot, 1 egg, 1 onion, and 1 piece of rice. And now, as you can see, the cooking pot is cooking the fried rice. Now that the fried rice has been cooked, it will let you know where it is being served. So it says served on bowl. So that basically means you have to place a bowl over here and then you get your fried rice. Now eating this fried rice will give you a nourished effect, and that lasts for 4 minutes. Just like any other effect, you can drink a bucket of milk to get rid of it, as you can see here. Now, there are a whole bunch of things you can cook with this cooking pot, and there are way too many for me to show you. I should also mention that when you have particles turned on, there are these beautiful particles coming from the stove, as well as the cooking pot. Now, moving on, we have 3 different crates. We have a cabbage crate, a tomato crate, and an onion crate, as well as some bales of rice. Now, these 3 blocks are very important to actually growing your food. First of all, we have mulch, and we have mulch farmland. Now, mulch farmland can be made by just using a hoe on mulch. Now, over here, we have some organic compost. If you place this organic compost next to some mulch, it will nourish the mulch and this block will actually turn into mulch. This organic compost will actually make your plants and crops grow faster, so it is very helpful. Now, like any other plant, all of these do need water for them to grow faster. We have a couple different varieties of crops here. We have some cabbage, we have some tomatoes, we have some onions, and you can also actually plant some rice in some shallow water. Now over here we have a variety of knives. We have the flint knife, we have the iron knife, and we have the golden knife, as well as the diamond knife. Now, these can be crafted with whatever material of knife you want, as well as a stick like this in a crafting table. Now, these knives can actually be used for cooking, for example, making raw pasta or making slices of cake. And as you can see here, they have a pretty decent attack damage, so you can also use these as weapons. Now, this little thing that I have built here is actually made out of these safety nets. So if I fly up here and change my game mode to survival, I will fall and I will bounce on these safety nets. So as you can see, these safety nets negate all fall damage and they also give you a little bit of bounce. Now, moving on to the stars of the show is the food. Now, as you can see over here, there is a whole variety of food in this mod, but I will show you some of my favorites. Some examples of food are chicken soup, stuffed pumpkins, chicken sandwich, fried egg, sweet berry cookie, ratatouille, barbecue on a stick, dog food. Now, this is actually very helpful if you want to feed it to any tamed wolves, because they will gladly eat it. And it should be noted that this will regen your tamed wolf's health. We also have squidding pasta, we have dumplings, we have pasta with meatballs, we have vegetable noodles, we have steak and potatoes, as well as pieces of cake. Now, these pieces of cake are actually one of my favorite features, and here is why. Now, as you know, the only way to eat a cake in Minecraft is to place it down and then eat it, but this makes it a little bit hard to travel with. So if you combine the cake with any type of knife, it will give you 7 slices of cake, and these can be eaten on the go, so you don't have to place them down. Now, last but not least, this mod also adds in a new enchantment called Backstabbing. Now, there is Backstabbing 1, Backstabbing 2, and Backstabbing 3. You can put all 3 of these enchantments on any knife or sword that you would like. So that is it for the Farmer's Delight mod. All in all, it is a very detailed and a very custom mod, so I definitely recommend it if you like food mods. Now, number 2 on this list is called Sky's Bakery. Now, this mod adds in a variety of things, but let's go through all of them one by one. First of all, it adds these 3 chef hats. We have one in white, one in red, and one in black. It also adds in a new ore called Salt Ore, which can give you salt. If we move back here, there is a variety of outdoor cafe chairs in all of the different wood types. Over here, we have some absolutely adorable decorations. We have a closed box of donuts. We have an open box of donuts. We have a sealed pretzel box, and we have an open pretzel box. Now, as you can see, these are so incredibly adorable. Moving on further back here, there are also a variety of outdoor cafe tables in all of these different wood types. So basically all of the different wood types. There's also a variety of other ones such as andesite, granite, diorite, quartz, stone, as well as 2 specialty ones called the square outdoor cafe table, as well as the round outdoor cafe table. Now, both of these have super adorable and custom textures. Moving on back here, we have these cafe signs. Now, these come in all of the different wood types. Here is the back of them if you'd like to see that. They also come in diamond, gold, iron, as well as quartz. Now, the quartz one has the same texture for that little string as these wooden ones, but the diamond, the iron, and the gold have these beautiful red ones, and that's why they're called the fancy cafe signs. Now, last but not least, for the cafe signs, we have 2 custom ones. There's the Sky's Donut sign, as well as the Valentine's Day cafe sign. Here are the textures, and now here is the back of them. Now, this mod is called Sky's Bakery, so let's move on to the bakery items. So let's start off with the regular bakery items. Now, there are so many regular bakery items, I cannot go through all of them. Here are some of my favorites. We have the jelly donut, the bakery special strawberry donut, the mint cream donut, the golden donut, the Valentino's charming chocolates. We have 3 different varieties of baking chocolate. We have the regular, we have the dark, and we have white baking chocolate. We also have salted pretzels, as well as a red velvet Swiss roll. Now, next up, we have a custom Neko treats section of these bakery items. As you can see, there are a variety of these. Here are some of my favorites: the Charlotte, the eclair, a biscuit, a chocolate cake, a Christmas cake, a cream puff, an adorable macaron, look at that, as well as tiramisu. Now, last but not least, for Sky's Bakery, we do have the beverages and drinks. Like I said before, there are a variety of these, but here are some of my favorites. We have a cup of tea, a cappuccino, red fruit iced tea. Now this does come in different colors as well. We have iced coffee, we have hot chocolate, we have a Monster Energy Punch, which is basically an energy drink. We have coffee as well as an Americano. Now Sky's Bakery is an extremely detailed and beautiful as well as adorable food mod, so I definitely recommend it. Now last but not least, we have Cooking for Blockheads. Now this mod has a lot of stuff included in it, so I'll go through it one by one. First of all, we have a new block called the kitchen floor. Now these come in all of the colors, as well as an extra color, which is just the basic kitchen floor. Now these would be perfect to decorate your kitchen with because they look so nice. Next up, we have 3 different recipe books. We have Cooking for Blockheads, we have Cooking for Blockheads 1, and we have Cooking for Blockheads 2. Now, Cooking for Blockheads 1 basically shows you all of the crafting recipes, and the best part about this is that it works with every single recipe in game. Now this includes modded recipes. So for example, all the items from Sky's Bakery will also be shown in this recipe book. Now as you can see, this salted pretzel from Sky's Bakery also appears inside this Cooking for Blockheads recipe book. Now Cooking for Blockheads 1 shows you basically anything that you can make from the items in your inventory. For example, I have a honey bottle right here, and this recipe book will show me what I can do with it. So once I click on sugar, it will show me how I can make sugar. Now Cooking for Blockheads 2 actually gives you the ability to craft recipes. So like Cooking for Blockheads 1, it can show me what I can make with the items in my inventory. So if I click on the sugar once, it will show me the recipe. But the great thing about Cooking for Blockheads 2 is if I click on the sugar again, it will craft it for me. Now as you can see, I built this beautiful kitchen here, and you can tell that this isn't regular Minecraft. These are all the blocks from Cooking from Blockheads. As you can see, we have the floor here. We have kitchen corners as well as kitchen counters. We also have this cooking table, and this basically does the same thing as the recipe book, except you are able to cook things with it. So if I click on this fried egg recipe, since I have an egg already in my inventory, it will pop up. And then if I click it again, it will actually transfer it to the cooking oven. So as you can see, there's a super cool opening animation, and I will get to cooking with this in 1 second. We also have a sink, as well as a fridge, as well as kitchen cabinets, and of course a kitchen corner. Now, talking about the fridge can actually be placed in any direction you want. It can be 1 block tall, or it can be up to 2 blocks tall, as you can see here. Now these actually come with 3 upgrades. The heating unit is for the cooking oven, the ice unit is for the fridge, and the preservation chamber is also for the fridge. I also wanted to show you that the kitchen cabinets can be placed either way as well. Now let's talk about this oven here. So as I showed you before, it will give you a nice animation, and if you look inside there very carefully, once I open the oven and then close it again, it actually shows you what's inside. So if I go back to the cooking station and click on a couple more fried eggs, they will now be transferred to the cooking oven, and as you can see, as it closes, you can see what is inside. Now this does need coal to operate, so let me just place one in here. Now when you are looking at it, you can see this goes by very slowly, but when you look away, as you can see, it also shows you this nice little screen to show that it's cooking. As soon as you look away, look how fast that happened. That was like 2 seconds long and it cooked 9 eggs. Look how amazing that is. It's actually pretty realistic. When you look inside the cooking oven and the oven is open, things will cook slowly, but when you look away from it and the oven door is closed, things will cook faster. Now, you cannot place things into this oven by hand. As you can see here, I'm clicking and nothing is happening. Even if I take these fried eggs out, it still won't let me place anything. And that's because we cannot place anything inside the oven unless it is through this cooking table. So be sure to place your cooking table next to the oven you want to use, and then you can basically cook anything you want. Another super cute item in this mod is called the toaster. It is so adorable. Unfortunately, it does not have a function yet, but some other blocks that I will show you do. So, moving on, we have the milk jar and we have the cow in a jar. So let's start with the milk jar. If I have a couple of buckets of milk, I can click on it, and as you can see, it will fill up. And if I just get rid of this bucket of milk and I use this empty bucket, I can pick up milk. Now moving on to the cow in a jar. As you can see, there is milk in this. That's because you let it sit. So if I just place down a brand new one here, as you can see, there's no milk in it yet. But basically over time, the cow will produce milk and it will fill up this jar. So once the jar is full, like the milk jar, you can actually use a bucket on it. So basically it is an unlimited source of milk. Moving on, we also have tool racks. Now if you want to take anything off this tool rack, you can right click, and as you can see, I got the shovel. You can also right click it to put it back on, and if I take both of these off right here, you can point at whichever one you want it to go on. For example, if I want this shovel to go on the left side, I just point at the left and I click. If I want it to go on the right, I point at the right and I click. Now these work with all sorts of tools, included a few modded ones, and they look really cute. Next up, we also have this spice rack. Now as you can see, you can actually place things inside of it and they actually show up in game. Like for example, if I take this apple out, the apple disappears from the shelf, which is so incredibly cool. Look at this. We also have a fruit basket that works the same way. For example, there are 2 golden apples in there right now. If I take both of them out, they disappear from the fruit basket as well. If I put them back in, they reappear. Now let's talk a little bit more about this fridge. If I actually place some items in it, as you can see here, I'm just gonna scramble in some bread. You can see that there is actually bread inside of the fridge. If I take a few of them out and only leave a little bit of bread in there, you can see that it changes how the fridge looks. The same thing also works with these kitchen counters. For example, I can put some eggs in, and maybe just 1 honey bottle, and as you can see, it shows up. This of course also works for these kitchen cabinets, as you can see here. And the best part is you can place anything you want inside of here, including blocks. Even other modded items will work. That looks so incredibly cool. I don't know how somebody did this. So yeah, cooking for Blockheads is extremely detailed, and it's one of the coolest food mods that I have ever seen in Minecraft, so I would 100% recommend it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you out and I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said before, all the links will be in the description if you want any of these mods, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel, because these videos take a while to make and I definitely appreciate it. Anyways, have a wonderful day and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! Goodbye!